right spot. This project today is going to be featuring one of the cutest stamp sets in the new catalog, and I'm still trying to adjust, so pardon. Hopefully you're not getting woozy with the camera moving. This project features This Birthday Piggy. It is stinking cute. I love the critter sets. This one is adorable. This is one of my favorite images. It's what we're going to be working with today. So it's a happy birthday on the Vespa, happy birthday with the cake, and just having a lazy day. Perfect set because it's got the sentiments. It's your birthday, hope it's the best, thinking of you, that we enjoy the ride. This little piggy says happy birthday and go to your happy place and stay there all day. Such a sweet stamp set. Very reasonably priced at about $22 or $23. Marie says she loves the birthday piggy. I think it was one of the first ones I flagged in this catalog, so it was on my list. Now, in addition to the birthday piggy set, I am also using the Awash and Beauty Designer Series paper. It has some beautiful colors, some subtles and some neutrals, some regal colors, lots of pretty colors going on, lots of pretty florals, and those nice background flip sides as well. So I'm going to be using two papers today, the little balmy blue background and the mossy meadow background. And I am going to be using die cuts from the Give It a Whirl die set. I'm going to be using clouds and some little stars. And again, I have pre-cut these for you so that you don't have to watch me just cut. I'm also using the Basic Borders dies. These are both in the main catalog. I'm just using that curved edge on the Basic Borders. And one more die cut I'm using is the Brilliant Rainbow dies. Now here's the thing with the rainbow dies. They are in the mini catalog. They are going to be retiring, and they are 50% off on June 1st. So they're regularly $31. They're going to be dropping down to $15.50. And what's cool about these dies is you really don't need the stamp set. The stamp set, of course, is adorable. It will help you build the rainbow, and it's got some nice little sentiments, but the dies will stand alone. The rainbow parts, and then I'm going to be using this edging, and it's got clouds as well. So perfect die set that will stand alone. It will be 50% off on June 1st. So that is all the die cutting I have done. Again, stick with me till the end. I think you're going to like the project. I hope you're going to like the project. It is a stinking cute birthday card. And so here we go. I'm going to share with you the dimensions and the die cuts and how to put this little project together. So let's see. We've got our card base, which is balmy blue. It's standard card size, so it's 5.5 by 8.5. And I do like to score it right down the middle at 4.25. It's going to make for a nice crisp fold. And of course, I use my essential tool, the bone folder. And so I've got a nice base card. I have a piece of that Designer Series paper, Awash with Beauty. It's the balmy blue background with some tone-on-tone flowers there. This one measures 3.75 by 5.5. So Joan says balmy blue is her favorite color. In this case, I happen to agree. It's such a calm, soothing color. I think it's a toss-up for me between the Pool Party and the balmy blue. But this one, it just looks so adorable with the Tulip Friends. Hello, Trisha. Nice to see you. Welcome in. We are making a fun birthday card with This Birthday Piggy. And you are getting the measurements right now for the pieces that we need. And hopefully today I've got everything at the ready. I have two pieces of basic white. One measures 3.75 by 5.5. This is going to go on the card front. And then I also have a piece that's 4 by 5.25, and this is the inside of the card since I'm on a colored cardstock. I have a piece of scrap basic white. We're going to be doing a little bit of punching with that. And here are the die cuts that I have pre-cut. And you can see I have them in a little baggie, so hopefully nothing has gone missing yet. I have the Designer Series paper. This is that Mossy Meadow pattern, and I pre-cut it with the basic borders, that little curved edge. Really sweet. And this one measures 3 3/4, and I started at 1.5 inches and then gave it the curve. I have 3 clouds. Well, actually, I have more clouds than that. I have, what, 5 clouds. These came from the Give It a Whirl die set. These are the sweet little clouds with that stitching on them. So I'm going to be using those on the card front as well. From the, let's see, from the Brilliant Rainbow dies, I'm just taking the edging that's on that die set. This is that set that's going to be half off starting on the 1st. This is one of the pieces that I love in that die set. So this measures 5.5, or actually it's a little bit longer. We're just going to have the little edging peeking out on the card front. And then from the Give It a Whirl die set, I've taken some of the little stars and I've cut them. There's a trio of stars per die, and I've got Polish Pink, So Saffron, Blushing Bride, and Calypso Coral, and I just put them on a little strip of the glue dots so that I wouldn't lose them, and it also makes for a great adhesive on them. It's ready to go. All right, we are going to be creating a punch with the decorative circle punch. This is new in this year's catalog. I love the size of this. It's a nice bulky size for the images that we're going to be creating. Okay, so let's give it a go. I am going to start with my patterned paper, and it is going to be placed atop the basic white, same size. And this just helps give it a little bit of extra backing, and I'm going to be attaching that border to it as well. So let me just think through. Actually, before I do that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some stamping as well. So I'm going to attach the grassy area, the curved grassy area with that stitching on it. And I'm just using flat adhesive. And here's a little tip. I'm just going to put it along 3 sides. So 2 sides and the bottom. Hello, Roberta from Wyoming. Yay. Welcome in. I'm glad you joined. I think you're going to like this project. It is a very sweet birthday card, and I think we all have people in our lives who have a birthday. So at one point or another, this card will come in very useful. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to stamp this card. I'm going to be using Memento black ink, and I am going to stamp with that little piggy on the Vespa and the happy birthday. And I'm going to ink up in the black. I'm going to flip that over. It's a little bit bigger than the ink pad, so I like to go on the reversed way. And again, it's Memento black. I'm going to be coloring with blends. Now, I'm not going to color this layer. You'll see what's going on here. And I'm going to align it so that the wheels of the Vespa happen to fall on or very near the curve of the grass. That's what we created with that DSP. And I'm just going to stamp down and press firmly. And so I'm going to have my stamped image on the patterned paper. And you can see how it's come up here, and there's a little bit of a gap in there. That's going to work out just fine because this is just going to be for positioning, you're going to see. And I am going to then bring in my scrap, and I'm going to punch that decorative circle. And I am going to stamp again using the same stamp and the same ink. And I'm going to stamp onto my circle this time. And this is going to be another layer that is in place of having to fussy cut. And I'm just trying to peek through, make sure that this comes out okay. I've got my head over top, so hopefully I'm landing in the right spot. It's kind of tough when I'm over the camera this way. Okay, so I'm going to ink down. And this is going to be colored, and what is going to happen, we are going to layer up into our DSP. It's going to slide right in there. See what happens here? This is why I didn't want adhesive in this spot, because I'm just going to slip that decorative circle right inside, and we're going to be creating our image with a little bit of that banner falling off the circle. So far everything's coming along fine. I'm going to take that scrap back because I'm also going to stamp the flag that says happy birthday. I've got a little bit of ink on there, so I'm going to flip that over. And in this case, all I need is the happy birthday flag. It's going to be hand snipped. There we go, right through there. So I have a couple of pieces, and we're going to do some blending or coloring with the Stampin' Blends. Here we go. I've got my blends all ready to go. And you know what? Let me do my other piece of stamping, because that way I only need to bring the blends out once. So on the inside of the card, I'm going to have the little birthday piggy with the birthday cake and the balloon, again stamped in the Memento Black. And I'm going to put it right down in the lower left corner. And then my sentiment is going to be, this little piggy says happy birthday. So fun. Such a cute set. I love it. Inking up in black. And I'm going to put this towards the top. That way we have a space to write a little note on the inside of the card. Pressing down, hopefully. Perfect. All right, so let's get that out of the way. And I think that's all the stamping I need to do at this point. So I'm going to cover up my black ink before I get inky fingers. So I have some coloring to do. And let's see, one more piece. What happened to it already? There we go. If you've watched me before, you know I have a tendency to lose things right on my desktop. So my desktop is not even 2 feet by, I don't know, 2.5 feet maybe, and things happen to get lost here all the time. Who knows how that happens? All right, so to color the piggy, I am using the Petal Pink blends, the light and the dark. I am going to start with my light and do an all over wash with the brush tip. Just going to come in, color up, and thank you, Trisha, you're too kind. Things hide right in front of me in plain sight all the time. So I know Trisha has been one of those people that helps me to find things. So I just flipped over to the pen tip because my brush tip is a little bit worn. So I'm just going to color up the piggy in Petal Pink. And I hope you like this project as much as I do. It just makes me squeal. These piggies are so stinking cute. And it has always been my dream to have a Vespa. I can see myself riding to the grocery store on a cool little Vespa. My husband and son think it's not safe, but I think it would be really fun to be able to drive about town on a Vespa. And then we have the little piggy celebrating with the cake. Actually, it's a nice little plump piggy. And I'm just doing an overall color wash. The brush tip would be even easier, but my brushes and tools are shared with other stampers and we get a lot of wear out of them. So sometimes I just have to make do before I break and buy another set. And that's what has to happen with the blends. You have to buy the light and the dark. So I think I am going to be needing them soon. So I'm going to come in then with my dark and do a little bit of shadowing, a little bit of reinforcement here along the edges and in the little darker nooks on his nose. And you could color with the ink pad, you could color with color pencils. The blends happen to lend themselves really nicely to this set. And there we go, and a little dark. And I like to go wherever the line art is, so just bringing in a little bit darker there. And just overall color. This little piggy is one of the cutest sets. I absolutely love it. All right, so let's color the Vespa next. We're gonna color the Vespa in the balmy blue. And again, I'm gonna start with the light, and I'm gonna go right to the pen tip because this is a little bit narrower image. We wanna get into that area more easily. And again, I'm just gonna do an overall wash. And then I'll come in with the dark balmy blue and do the same sort of thing up around the hubcap, little darker areas below the seat, right in there. All right, we're gonna bring in also the light smoky slate. And again, the pen tip, I'm gonna color his seat, a nice little padded seat in here. And the lamp. And let's see the wheels. Right through here. And then the little fenders and the lamp post. There we go. Really, really, just a little tiny bit of color in there. All right, so then next, let me bring in my So Saffron. We are gonna color a couple of things with the light So Saffron. First thing is I'm gonna color the little flag that says Happy Birthday. Just gonna put it on a colored background here. Being really careful, sometimes the blends will smudge even though I've used the Memento Black. So the flag is in So Saffron, and then I'm gonna do the cake also. A little bit of the cake in So Saffron, kind of like it's a white cake. And then the, let's see, the little flame on the candle I'm gonna do with the dark. And let's see, we're gonna bring in also the smoky slate for the plate. And let's see, I just want to make sure I've got him all colored up. The balloon and a little bit of the cake, I've picked the dark Flirty Flamingo to bring in a pop of color, so we have a really pretty pink right through here. And I'm going to leave a little bit of that white spot there. And then I'm going to do that layer of icing on the outside with a little bit of Flirty Flamingo to make the cake pop just a little tiny bit. There, and then let's do the candle as well. All right, so I think I've got most of the coloring done. I'm gonna do a couple of things. First, I'm gonna hand snip that little Happy Birthday banner. I'm using just my paper snips. And this goes pretty easily. Just a little bit of a bend. I think the hardest part on the little snip is getting that ball on the post. Right through there. And just has a little bit of a wave. All right, okay, so I'm gonna layer up a little bit. I'm gonna push the blends aside. And before I lose anything, I am going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of the decorative circle. And I'm going to just slip it right in place. I'm gonna push it right underneath that grassy layer. And I'm gonna be able to align here, pushing it right into place. This is gonna give me a little bit of dimension without having to do any fussy cutting. So there we go. So it's coming along. Let me keep going here. Let me add the flag. And I noticed I forgot to color the knob on my pole. So let's do that. I'm taking the basic or sorry, the smoky slate, and just giving a little bit of color to that little knob. This gets popped up with dimensionals. And here's where I have to be careful because things are already getting out of control on the desktop. All right, let me put a couple of dimensionals. These are minis. I'm going to put them right up behind the flag. And I am going to add this to the front of the card. So I've got a little bit of dimension here. There we go. And now this gets added to the basic white layer, and I just want it to be a little bit more substantial, which is why I'm not going straight to the card. Remember, this is 5.5, as is the height of the card. So this gets adhered with flat adhesive. You could use the Seal or the Seal Plus. I'm just going to use my Old Faithful Tombow liquid glue. And it gets placed right atop the 3 1/4 by 5.5 inch layer. So this is same size on same size. And I can flip that over, go ahead and burnish it, so I've got that going on. Now I'm going to add my die cut border right like this. And I'm going to start it. See how it is a little bit longer, which is fine. I'm going to do a little bit of hand snipping. I'm just going to put some flat adhesive on the back here. You can see why I like the basic white layer there to help me out. And I'm going to start with a full rainbow on the decorative border. And I'm putting it flush right up to the edge of the card. And I can trim. I can either use my paper snips or take it to the paper trimmer. I think I can trust myself to cut straight, right like so. And then this one needs a little bit of help as well. Just cutting right up to the card. All right, so next I'm going to add some decoration. It's going to be kind of like a little cloudy day. I'm going to bring in my clouds. That little baggie's helping me out. So far I haven't lost anything, have you noticed? Hello, Debbie, my friend. Thank you. We are making a This Birthday Piggy card. All right, so I'm going to start off by putting one flat, and then I'm going to add a couple of clouds using glue dots to pop, or sorry, dimensionals to pop up a little bit, just like so. And maybe over here. Whoops, I think I just realized I should have done something before I added that border. It's gonna be good. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with one that's flat. And I'm gonna put it a little bit lower there. Then I'll add a couple with the mini dimensionals, which are right here. And I'm kind of taking note. I don't want to put dimensionals on all the clouds at once because I don't like to double up. I'm gonna have some flat areas. So the next one that I put, the next cloud I put on, it's not gonna need dimensionals back behind that part that's layered up. I'm just gonna put a dimensional on the area that is not popped up yet, if that makes sense. Flat adhesive here. And we'll do, let's see, right in there. Just bringing it over. It's a little bit of a cloudy day. And these, I'm going to snip them straight. I probably should have adhered these before I put my border on, but like I said, it's all good. I'm going to snip that off. This one goes flat. And I'm just going to put it right up to the border. Like so. There we go. And then the next one as well. I'll bring it in flat as well. And let's see. This one's going to come off just a little tiny bit more right through here. And this one goes on flat. So we've got lots of dimension going on the card. bringing it right in through here. Already it's looking pretty cute, right? We're going to add a little bit of embellishments here. So I'm bringing in my 2123 in color opal rounds. These have lots of pretty colors. Of course, they've got the in colors from 21 to 23, and I just want the tiny ones. And so I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool and add the smaller rounds. And I'm pretty much going with wherever there are little round circles of confetti there. So I've got one that's probably supposed to be soft succulent and one that's the polished pink. And let's see, I'll bring it up towards the top. And then I'm going to take one more, which kind of looks like a so saffron color. And I'm going to bring this one down just a little bit there. And here's where we bring in the little stars from the from Give It a Whirl die set. And these already have the glue dot behind them because I adhered them to the mini glue dot tape so that I wouldn't lose them. And I'm going to put in three. I'm going to do two pinks. So one is the polished pink, one is the blushing bride, and then I'm going to use a so saffron. These little stars are so sweet. They have stitching on them. And I just love these die cuts with the stitching. It just gives it that nice finish there. All right, so what do you think? So far it's looking pretty cute, right? All right, let's continue on. I'm going to add this final little stitched star to the inside of the card. It's looking pretty cute. And this will be layered on flat. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add some glue here. And again, you could use the Seal or Seal Plus. And this just comes right to the edge of the card because it's 5.5, right? 5.5. There we go. And of course the Tombow liquid glue lets us adjust just a tiny bit. We have the inside of the card as well. Thank you, Pam. Stick with me till the end though. I hope nobody has to leave early because you're going to see the finishing touch. Looks like we're almost done, right? And then this goes on the inside. We have a nice space to sign. And that little banner, just screaming for a little twine ribbon. Thank you, Marie. Marie says she loves this. I think you're going to love it even more because I'm not done yet. So fun. And I do need got to reach across. I need my little ribbon scissors and I need a glue dot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in those mini glue dots that I love from the paper pumpkin kits. And I hope you are on my email list because I think it was yesterday, I sent out an email and let everyone know there is a great sale coming up during June. It's a buy one, get one 50% off on the kits. And I was just reminded because I said paper pumpkin kits. So in June, you will want to pick up some of the great kits that Stampin' Up! Has. There's lots of really sweet ones. There we go. So stinking cute, right? And I'm not done yet, so don't go away yet. All right, so there's my card. And I think if I left it as it is, I would absolutely love it. Barbara says, so cute, thank you. But here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna bring in my paper trimmer and I'm gonna slide it. Thank you, Tricia. I'm gonna slide it right in there, let's see. And I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it right on the fold line. There we go. And look what I've got now. Okay, so now I have the card front and I have the inside of the card, right? All right, so I think I saw my friend, Debbie Jarigi, on here. And if Debbie's thinking through, she already knows what's gonna happen next. This little card is gonna turn into a This Birthday Piggy gift box. So I'm going to push that aside. I am going to bring in a piece of balmy blue paper. This one measures 7.5 by 7.25. So you just have to be really careful because it's so close. So this way it's 7.5, and I said I'm going to turn it into a gift box. So first of all, let me put this out of the way so it doesn't get damaged. Hopefully I don't lose it. I'm going to bring in, stick with me, Marie. Okay, so I'm on the 7.5 inch side. And, oh, let me take a sip. All right, so on the long side, which now happens to be 7.5, I only need to remember 2 measurements here. I need to remember 1.5 and 3. So the 3 is for the 7.5 inch side, so I'm going to bring it up here at 3 inches. And I am going to score. And then I'm going to flip it or rotate 180 and score at 3. All right, now I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. Now I'm on the 7.25 inch side, and I am going to score at 1.5. And I'm going to flip it 180 degrees and score at 1.5. So just the 2 measurements, right? 1.5 and 3. The only thing you do have to remember is the 7.25 and 7.5. So next what I'm going to do is I am going to fold and burnish on these score lines, just like so. And again, on the opposite score lines. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to snip on these horizontal lines, but only up until this score line. So I'm going to come in on this little 1.5 inch score right here where I'm penciling, and I'm going to snip, and I'm going to snip with my paper snips. So right in through here, and then I like to do my little dart, kick that out. And as I said, if you know of anybody with a birthday, this is going to be a project for you. And I'm going to do a dart on this side as well. Then I'm going to rotate. I'm going to do the opposite side as well. So the short scores up to the score line. And I'm doing the little darts. It just debulks. And one more dart. All right, then I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. You could use the tear and tape, but you do want an aggressive glue. I'm going to fold those 1.5 inch flaps in and put a little glue on here. I like the multi-purpose glue. It's nice and aggressive. It takes a little bit longer to set, so that just means we have to pinch it closed for a little bit of time. Now I'm going to bring up the bottom and make it perpendicular. And this is going to be the side of the box. And again, the side of the box. And so we want to make sure that that's adhered and dry, so just pressing down a little bit at a time to make sure it's secure. And then we're going to close up the other side. And so I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue, put a little bit of adhesive here, and then we're going to close that up. And again, it takes a little bit longer to dry, not too long, but it's perfect. To me, it beats the tear and tape. And here we go. One last one. Okay, so now look what I've got. I have a little box, right? So then my box measures 3 inches by 4.25. This is the front of the box, and I notice which one's the front because I don't have a seam going right. I just have a fold, no seam that's showing right here. So I'm considering this the front of the box. I am going to bring in, let's see, I'm going to bring in my card. And this is going to be attached right to the front. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put adhesive here, just like so. And I'm going to put the card front here. And it just gets aligned. It fits perfectly. This is 4 1/4 across, just like a card is. I can flip that over, get my bone folder, and do a little bit of burnishing to make sure it sticks. Now, there is my card box front. I'm going to flip it over, do the same on the back that I did at the front. Debbie Jarigi says, so cute. All right, so shh, don't say anything yet, Deb. Deb knows what's going on here. All right, there we go. And this is now the card back. And here we go. And here is my card. There's my co-ops. I got a little stray dimensional cover. There is the card front. There is the card backing, which you could still sign. We take a little piece of, let's see if I've got one here. I'm going to take my little piece of tissue paper and look what I've got. I've got a cute little gift box. Ah, squeal, right? Isn't that adorable? Okay, so, oops, not quite secure there yet. Needed to hold on to that a little bit more. Yes, okay, so there is my project of the day, this little birthday piggy, and I have to say, I probably have mentioned my team in the past, right? Have I ever mentioned my great team, the Stamperistas? We are a team of crafters with lots of great sharing that goes on at our team meetings. And I am so glad that Debbie popped on here because she is the team member that has inspired this project. I had a birthday this month and Debbie brought me this adorable box that she made with the Rainbow of Happiness dies. And it's all in the packaging. Well, the gift was beautiful as well, but this box was just amazing. And this is just the kind of crafter that my teammate is, coming with me with such adorable ideas. Debbie happens to be meticulous in her execution. So here's the front, and then there's the inside of the card, which is just adorable. Debbie's probably varies just a tiny bit. This is box construction, so Debbie's box is a little bit smaller. Mine's a little bit higher. You could make it to fit as long as it fits the card front size. You could make it as deep as you like, depending on the gift that you want to put inside. But that is my This Birthday Piggy card turned into a box, which I just love the idea. And I think with the This Birthday Piggy, it looks stinking cute. This will accommodate a small gift, jewelry, lots of little crafty things, gift cards, what you like, but I think it's a great idea and so easy to execute. So I hope you like my card. I thank you for joining me. I know I was a little bit late. I'm running late still. I'm supposed to be on a Zoom at 4 o'clock today. So just a rush, but I wanted to share the project. I love this stamp set. I hope you will give it a look. It's in this year's catalog. It is a standalone stamp set. I do like it with the decorative circle punch, and this will be the featured stamp set in my card class this month, This Birthday Piggy. Hopefully you can join me for that, whether you're in town or local. But yeah, I'm going to have lots more ideas to create with This Birthday Piggy. Again, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. If you came in the middle and you want to watch the entire project, you'll be able to click over to the YouTube channel to watch the replay. You could watch the replay right here as well. As I said, I do hope you're on my mailing list so that you get notifications of the sales and events that are coming in. Plus, I have more tutorials for you on the newsletter as well. So look out for the sale. Click buy tomorrow. I will be going through the mini catalog to tell you what's retiring and what's going to be on sale. Yay, we all love a sale, right? All right, my friends, thank you for joining. I appreciate your spending time with me. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.